Hi there and welcome to part 5, the final part of our introduction to ezJavascript series. So in the previous videos we created this tree building function that passes or takes the JSON definition and builds a Vizrt scene tree based off the JSON definition. So in this video we're going to show you how you can use a hosted or an external JSON file instead of having the definition inside the script like we currently have over here. So before we get started, I have a server running locally that is hosting the JSON file. So let me just bring that up over here. So you can see localhost port 3030 and we have tree.json. And here we have a very similar structure to what we have inside our code, just some different values. So for example, the name is hosted JSON of the main container, and we have a circle with a different color. So we're going to use the HTTP request functionality inside ezJavascript to read this JSON and build our scene tree. So let's go ahead and get started. First thing we need to do, or what we can do, is we can get rid of the JSON definition inside our script. So let's just get rid of that. So let's go to the bottom to our build tree. So we're actually not changing any of the functionality inside our script. We're just changing where the data is coming from. So right now we're calling build tree function, and we were passing the tree variable which we just removed. So instead of doing that, what we want to do is do an HTTP request to get the hosted JSON file. So let's go ahead and build that. So inside ezJavascript we have the net request function, and we're going to do a get request. So if you want to send data to the server, you would do a post request, for example. So you could do post or put any HTTP function basically, but we're just going to get the data. And now I'm going to give it the URL where I'm pulling the data from. So HTTP localhost port 3030 tree.json. Okay, so once we've done the get request, we'll do call the then method, and we're going to receive the response, and we're going to use this response in the then method. So the first thing we need to do is define our tree variable again, and this time we're going to use the built-in JavaScript function JSON.pass and the response.text. So what this does, the response will send us back a text response, and we need to pass this into JSON, into a JSON object that we can use and pass into the build tree function. So that's what I'm doing over here. I'm passing the text into JSON. Okay, and just for debugging purposes, I can print this out into the console to make sure we're getting the right data. So let's just do console log tree, and I'm going to pass it the tree variable. So that's just for debugging purposes. Once the request is finished, I can see what the values were returned from the server. So now that we have that, what I want, so we have a valid response here, and if we get this data, I need to run the code that we have over here. So I'm going to take that out from there and put it inside the then method. So let's just indent our code a bit so it looks a bit nicer. Okay. So that's all we need to do. We're still calling the build tree function, passing it the current container, and the tree variable is now our past JSON response from over here. The last thing I want to do is add some error handling. So if the request didn't succeed. I don't know, there was no network connection or the URL is incorrect. So we can use the catch method. Oh, sorry, I made a mistake over there. So I'm going to use the catch method. And on the catch method, we will get the response as well to see what went wrong. And we'll use that over here. So now I'm going to do console.error. So we get a nice red error message. And we'll say, oops, something went wrong. And then we can paste the, or put in the response that we got from the server over there so that we can check what went wrong. So that is all the changes that we have to make to our code. Let's just go ahead and run our code. And there we go. So you can see that we've passed the information from the server. We now get our containers called hosted JSON, and we have the circle geometry with this bluish color. But just to show you how that catch method works, if I put in an incorrect URL over here, and I'm going to open up the console of Viz. Oh, and here we can see our response that we got from the server. So we see the data over there from our earlier request. But now I changed the URL, so this doesn't exist. This shouldn't work. And I'm going to go ahead and hit run. And there we go. So you see we have an error here. Oops, something went wrong. And we can have a look at all the, we had an error over there. So that will help us to debug any problems. If we give it a, let's give it a false path. Oh, let's hit enter. So you can then see that it was not found. So it means that the URL that we found could not be error 404. So there we go. That is how easy it is to do a network request with ezJavascript using JavaScript inside Vizrt. I hope you enjoyed this introduction series into ezJavascript and that you find the plugin as helpful as we do. Thank you for watching.